Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jormitlin. I'm Jormitlin, and I just want to say right off the bat that if you are a fan that chanted any racist stuff at Kairi Sane, fuck you, and you should never be allowed to be at a wrestling event again, ever. For those of you who don't know, according to some fans that were at, I believe, a St. Petersburg, Florida NXT house show, there were some fans that were chanting stuff like Happy Ending and Remember Pearl Harbor at Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane, who seems like a very pure and good-hearted person. Now, granted, I just am going by what I see on TV. She seems really nice, really sweet. She's a damn good wrestler. Best in the world, whatever, that's arguable. She's certainly very, 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 very good. Of course, she wrestles Kairi Hojo over in Japan. That's secondary, though. Her wrestling ability is secondary. People are going to chant that racist shit, and what 2018 or not, that is just uncalled for. Absolutely 100% uncalled for. And I'm going to say right at the beginning of this, or basically right at the beginning, I am no white knight. I am no pure of heart. I have my own issues. I have my own flaws. I admit that. I have owed up to it, and I'm going to get into some stuff of how I used to be in this video, which is actually a reshoot because I went for about 30 minutes on my other video, and that was a little too much droning. So, the fans that chanted this stuff to Kairi Sane, the fans that chant any racist shit, I don't care whether there was a match, I think it was Pete Dunne and, I don't know if it was Pete Dunne and Will Ospreay or what, I think it was Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne and somebody, but they had cat ears and stuff like that, and like cat ears on, and some fan like chanted some, a gay slur. And Dunne got pissed, and I believe his opponent got pissed. I want to say it was Ospreay, I don't know for certain, but I know Pete Dunne was involved in it. Was involved in the match. That kind of shit's ridiculous. Unfortunately, that kind of racism and homophobia still exists in this world because people don't want to change. So now, I'm going to come back to that in a bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I used to be. Those of you that have followed my channel for a while may have heard me talk about the fact that I used to be racist and used to be homophobic. Those of you that have followed me on Twitter for, especially about the nearly 6 years I've been active, of the nearly 10 years I had nearly 9 years I've had my account. Some of you may know, some of you. Because I don't like to broadcast this stuff unless people ask. There are certain things I keep private. I used to be incredibly racist, incredibly homophobic from the time, pretty much about the time I was a little kid. Because of how I was raised, and I'm not excusing it. Because that's how I thought people should act. Because I thought my race, being white, obviously if you're watching this video you can tell that I was superior to other races, and I want to make it clear, I don't think that anymore, and if you think that because you're white or of any race, you're wrong. All races are equal and should be treated as such. The fact that they aren't is ridiculous. Now, I know for a fact that I would not be sitting here doing this video. I would not be best friends with Chris, the Durbinator, co-host for my show. I would not be here if I did not change. I'm going to tell you how I changed. Back in high school. It's like even leading up to high school. It's like at the time, I think it was very early in my high school time. Like, some timeline of events get a little screwed up in my head. Because some stuff runs together. I'm 37 years old. That, remembering high school and remembering exact dates, kind of, sometimes it gets, is a little confusing. But anyway, there was a black guy. I'm not going to mention him by name, because the last time I talked to him was about 10 years ago. Nice guy. He was living halfway across the country. I don't even know if he's still alive. And I don't know who he told this stuff to. So I don't want to be the guy to mention him by name. But he was somebody I went to school with. And had known for a couple years, and you can imagine as being racist and homophobic from a very early age. That it was contentious. But he saw something in me, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second. I knew that there was a voice in the back of my head that knew he wasn't a bad guy, and knew that anybody that was a different race, or that was gay or lesbian or bi, they're like both men and women, by the way, in case for those who don't know, or in case anybody can't grasp their little brain around that, and you get their little head around that. He had talked to me. I was done with drama, and I was basically done for the day. I was waiting for a ride at the time because I didn't drive. I was going through driver's ed at the time, which should give you an idea of timeline of events, of just how young I was. But he had talked to me, and he said, I need to tell you something. I've been wanting to tell somebody this for months. Now, I already didn't want the guy too close to me, because again, racism. I mean, even though there was that little voice was like telling me, the little voice said, listen to him. The little voice is starting to get louder. The little voice of reason. Said, listen to him. He's got something to say. He confessed to me that he was gay. He knew he was gay from a very early age, and they'd hid who he was. Now, he didn't hit on me. He didn't like me. It wasn't any of that. If he had, I would shut him down, because I don't swing that way. But whatever, you swing that way, cool. But he said that to me, and I said, you know how I am. You know how I feel about... And I use the term people like you, and I should have not said that. But, it was how I was still thinking. But... I said, you know how I feel about people like you and how I feel about that lifestyle. And I said that lifestyle choice because that's how ignorant I was. And he said, you were the only one, the only person that I felt I could tell that wouldn't judge me. And it was like something just broke. Something just snapped. Sorry, little joke. Something just snapped right in my head. And the voice of reason finally overtook every fucking thing in my head. Every other thought. And said, what are we doing? What are you doing? Quit this. This isn't who you are. Change. Fucking change. Look at what this guy is saying. This guy, despite how you are, despite him being everything that you may say that you hate, feels strongly enough to confide in you, so change. And from there I did. It was a process. Certainly, because it doesn't happen. Change like that doesn't happen overnight. You change who you are over time, and that's what I did. I started seeing people of different races as equals, which is how everybody should see it. I mean, I'm sorry if you were raised to think that a race is inferior just because they're a different race, or a different whatever. That's wrong. It's one thing if you're friends with somebody and you guys just, joke around, this kind of stuff. And you make racist jokes towards each other. Because people make jokes towards me, for being white, and that's fine. It's jokes. I can take them. I got thick skin. Yeah, I have thick skin in this world. But it took some time, but I got better, and I apologize to every single person. And it was a fairly predominantly white school, with some other races mixed in. But at the time, it was a predominantly white school. It wasn't segregated or anything, that's just how the population was. Because this was a number of years ago. This was 20 plus years ago. Or just over 20 years ago. And, which I guess would qualify for 20 plus. But anyway, I apologize to people. I talked to people that were in my class. There were times, like in my past, way before this, that I would demand to be sat somewhere else and not be sat to somebody of a different race. That's how hateful I was. And that's where it really hurts just how I was. I made peace with everybody that I did that with because they were still in my school at the time. I made peace with them. They accepted it, which I was grateful for. They didn't have to. They did not have to accept it. They could have said, no, this guy was a prick to me and this guy was, but no, they wanted to give me a chance. And I rebuilt those bridges. And I'm not saying I was friends with a ton of people. A ton of these people that I did that to. A ton of anybody. No matter what race or no matter whether they were gay or straight or bi. Gay, straight, or gay, lesbian or bi, rather. But they saw something, they saw that I had changed. They saw a different feel to me. And let me tell you, that was a fucking weight off my shoulders I never thought I would lose. And then, it was the homophobia that took a bit longer. Because I had to talk to more people and figure out that it wasn't a lifestyle choice. It's who they are. It's how they were born. It may take them a while to discover who they are because they feel the need to hide it because of how they are. No person who is gay, lesbian, bi, should have to hide who they are. None. You shouldn't have to hide who you are. As long as it's who you really are and you're not just playing up a whole thing to fit in. There are people I know that have done that, and that's wrong, by the way. But this is what I want to say to anybody that's just a little insight to how I was. I still make jokes about a ton of things, not everything, I got limits, but that's how I deal. It's coping mechanism for depression and for anger. Rather than and I still get angry. You guys can look on my timeline and on my YouTube channel timeline here and see the amount of videos that I put up, and see the amount of videos that where I rant about a lot of stuff, current product, old product, times of wrestling that pissed me off, that kind of stuff, and everything. And some stuff I just rant because I'm a wrestling fan or whatever. But the important thing is that I'm ranting and I'm a wrestling fan. But I try to keep it in check. Sometimes I go out of control, as we all do when we get angry. But I want to just say to anybody that is trying to figure out, it's like, okay, anybody that's racist, and there are certain people, by the way, that can no longer watch my channel, and some of you all will know who I'm talking about, that I blocked, that were incredibly racist and homophobic, that didn't believe that I knew what racism was. Nobody knows what alcoholism is like more than a former alcoholic. Nobody knows what drug addiction is more than a former drug addict. Nobody knows what racism is more than a former racist. I mean, there are exceptions to stuff like that, but you get the point. When you can see that you were the worst of something, and you were the worst of society, and you realize that you can change, it makes you hate who you were. But at the same time, if I wasn't who I was, I wouldn't be able to be this positive about it now. Do I wish that I wasn't that way when I was younger? Yes. But at the same time, it also taught me how to be different and how being that way is totally wrong. And it is wrong to be racist. It's wrong to judge people based on their race. Oh, he's black, he must be bad. Oh, he's Mexican, he must be lazy, or he must have jumped the wall. Which, by the way, if you think that, you're a fucking idiot. We all have times where we get angry. But getting angry for those reasons is ridiculous. There are plenty of better reasons to get angry than just simply basing on how somebody looks or whether somebody is gay. I mean, really, who cares? I mean, be happy for who they are. I mean, at least accept it. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're going to let that dictate, if you're going to let somebody else being that way dictate how your life is, that's something you need to work on. I know that I'm better now than I ever was. Does that mean I'm perfect? No, I'll never be perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect person. But I know I would not be here if it wasn't for that. And again, I would not be friends with the Durbinator. I would not be friends with Chris if that was the case. I would not have the friends that I have on Twitter or in real life. I wouldn't have them. I would not have this channel. Because how I used to be, if I still was now, would not have allowed me to interact with people. I would have been nothing but hateful, and probably got my channel banned in about 2 months. And that's wrong to be. That's just wrong to be. It's wrong to be racist. It's wrong to be homophobic. And it is. I mean, the fact that stuff still exists in this day and age is ridiculous. We need to realize that we're all human beings in the end. If you want to base your opinion on how somebody is deep inside, whether they're an evil person, whether they do stuff to kids, whether they beat women, whether they beat men, whether they're bad people deep inside, okay. But let's not just make it, oh, it's a race thing, or oh, it's a homophobic thing, or oh, it's because they're gay, a racist thing, or a race thing, or them being gay is the reason why that's the case. No. Who you are comes from deep inside. If you are somebody that has these thoughts and you want to change, you can. You can change. I changed. I never thought I could change. You can change. If you would like to talk to me on Twitter, my DMs are open. As long as you're able to DM me, as long as we follow each other, I will listen to you. You can talk to me about stuff, and I will leave details out of it. I will not share your story with anybody else. But I encourage other people, if they are upset about these comments about Kairi Sane, which, by the way, again, these fuckers need to be banned from all wrestling events, never allowed to be at any wrestling event again, and they should actually be made to personally apologize to Kairi Sane. Seriously. Now, Kairi took the high road and took the pure road, and somebody put up a tweet, how did you, it's like, oh, some people that chant this stuff to Kairi, you're ridiculous, you did this, that kind of stuff. And Kairi responded to the fan by putting an animated drawing of the world and kids, in little drawings of kids of different races holding hands. And that is what this world needs to be. I'm not saying this world is all happiness and sunshine. There are dark people in this world. And I mean dark-minded people, by the way. And there's always going to be evil in this world. But realistically, as angry as I get at various political things and various stuff like that, and I will in the future, being positive and trying to help people through positivity is really the only way you're going to get through. So unfortunately, I was racist and I was homophobic. But fortunately, I'm not anymore. And that's really what it comes down to. Guys, you can't be that way. It's not even in this day and age. It will eat you alive. Do not let it eat you alive. Talk to me if you want. Figure out more about how I changed. Talk to me more about how I changed. I will talk to you. I'm not saying I'm not a beacon of hope or any of this kind of stuff or whatever, but I used to be racist, homophobic, very, very, very hateful towards people for no goddamn reason. I can help people with that. I can at least help you see the error of your ways, or, at least hopefully set you on a better path. I am not like a beacon of hope. I'm not, a pure heart individual. What I am is somebody that has experienced it and, yes, does know what racism is, despite what some idiots, and you know who you are. If you ever happen to see this video, you know who you fucking are. I would not be here if it wasn't for changing, for being a positive change, for changing myself in a positive way. If I did not have people tell me how they were, or, who they were, why they were, and see something good in me. If I didn't have people see good in me, I would not be here. And I am grateful for that, and I am appreciative for that. And that's really all I can say. And just, guys, to the Derb, thank you so much for being my best friend, for being the brother I never had. Seriously, I only have one sister, so it's not like I'm shunning him. I'm not like I'm shunning a sibling or anything. It's just, I never had a brother, but he's my brother, not whether it's by blood or not, and it's not by blood. To various other friends, my friend Cassie and my friends Cassie and Amber, thank you. To the various people on Twitter that have interacted with me, thank you. You've seen some good in me, despite all my flaws, and I have plenty. And I will never run away from them. I have plenty of flaws. I will continue to joke about things. I will continue to be who I am. I will continue to have fun. But that doesn't mean that I won't talk to you guys if you guys have some dark thoughts and want to try to change. We're always going to have angry thoughts. We're always going to be angry some days. That's just how it's going to be. But if we can see all races is equal, if we can see the fact that if somebody is gay, lesbian, or bi, that they aren't bad people, they aren't inferior, then maybe we can do maybe we can have some positive change towards various, to make this world a bit of a better place. I mean, I know it sounds cliche and silly, but hey, who knows? But anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. If you've gotten to the end of this video, seriously, thank you. I really appreciate you guys for listening to my words and everything. We're not perfect people. We're never going to be. But let's just try to be better. But anyway, guys, do you agree? Do you disagree with what I said? What are some of your experiences? Find me on Twitter and talk to me. I will listen to you if you don't want to post them in the YouTube comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. Spend real honesty with Jar Mifflin. I'm Jar Mifflin, and I will see you soon.